Paranoid Squatch, hey, how's it going, man? Turning. If the world is turning, you might as well be turning too. Yeah, I figured I wanted to round something out, just get a little bit of the other work done. And I figured, what the heck, I'll just stream it since I'm close to my regular broadcast time. Hey, did you get an email about Heroes to Hives on ground training at, well, not Heroes to Hives, but beekeeping training anyway?
Paranoid Squatch said, make it the meat knocker.
Oh, actually, this was going to be a handle, but it was, uh, it's Douglas fir. I thought about making a handle out of it for this, and I made this handle instead. So I had split some Douglas fir, and now I'm just making a dowel, I suppose, for later use. I don't know what I'll turn it into. Next weekend, yeah, I wish I could make it. Oh, so you did get the email, cool. Yeah, I don't think I can make it either, actually. I'm not sure. But I just wanted to see if you were actually getting any of the emails since it seems like you didn't get the course material. Oh, gotcha. I saw it both. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I did see it on Instagram. My bad. I've been working a little bit of both this afternoon. Got a mixed up. Groovy, done. Skew makes that so easy. All right. I need to put you back here. Let's see. How about right there? And I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever be. It won't be a. I don't know. Might be a tool handle. It'd just be a small tool. I wouldn't use it for turning tools because it's Douglas fir. It's a little bit. Doesn't quite have the strength of things like beech and oak and all that. Maple, cherry. I don't think it would ever be much fun to be turning and having the handle explode in your hand. Maybe not explode, but you know what I mean. Just come apart because of a random catch or whatever, and the wood couldn't handle the stress. So it'll be I don't know. It could still be a knee knocker though. That's for sure. Those don't have to be heavy, although it helps. Well, that went by quicker than I thought it would. Uh, I don't have. Yeah, what the hell? We'll just get started. What the heck? We're 10 minutes early. Let me clear off the computer there a bit. I don't know. Do you ever have like, or would you be able to schedule in advance if you knew far enough in ahead to head up there for Heroes to Hives class with me, or um, is it next to impossible to get like well, I guess a Saturday, right? Or maybe we could.
Paranoid Squatch said, I would if I knows when it is.
All right, cool. Well, if I get the notice and I can make it, I'll give you a holler to see if you got the notice. And you can make it. A little more secure than that. All right.
Paranoid Squatch said, I work the zoo on Saturdays.
Oh, I thought you were at the restaurant. Okay, gotcha. All right, move these aside. I guess I'm all set. So I'm going to start this thing up, man. Oop, let's get rid of that very bright light. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave. I'm a wood turner. Started the turning as therapy for PTSD and found out I had a knack for it, fell in love with it. I also really enjoy teaching, and that's why I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner. Of course, the huge secret in the wood turning world is that the secret is practice. It's not really a secret, but I've had people ask me what how I do things, or and I say, well, practice. How do you make those cuts so well? So it's practice. Oh, I get it. It's a secret. Like, no, it's no secret. The real answer is practice. So, I hope that you will, in watching this channel, get some inspiration to turn yourself if you have a lathe. Maybe get hooked up with a turning club in your area. You don't necessarily have to have a lathe to be a member of the wood turning club, and I'm sure there are members in there that might give you a little practice, a little bit of instruction, a little practice on their lathe. If you're part of the club, may have an interest. That might get you a better idea of whether you want to pick up a lathe for yourself if you don't have one. So, having said that, I started turning this bowl. I think it might have been 2 weeks ago, but I think it was a week ago. And it wasn't completely. It's still just a tiny bit green. Well, I say tiny bit. It's still got some water in it. But it started developing a crack. So what I did was I took a little bow tie, and even though it's not, super perfect and all that, my first go at it, I wanted to try and see how that looked once it's turned. I've seen other wood turners use bow ties and their pieces, and I figured, what the heck. I wanted to repair this. I didn't want to. Right now, it's a bowl blank. The outside was pretty much finished when this crack uh, appeared, I guess I could say. And so I knew I wanted to repair it before I actually finished hollowing out the bowl. So put it in some plastic bags, and then finally did all this, put it back in the bag, waiting for today. So, and I also, you know what, I'm going to have to do that, I think. Did that work? No? Why not? There we go. Let's bring that up. There we go. So I finally got Jimmy Clue's quick release handle. I've been turning a little bit with it, but I want to keep going and see. Just kind of, I don't know, run it through its paces, I guess. Was used to the robust quick release, and I still have that in a handle here. But I'm playing around with the new my new Jimmy Clues quick release, and I turned this handle out of beech, and then finished it with a couple of coats of boiled linseed oil. I like to have I don't want it glossy smooth. I like to have a little bit of, I guess, tooth is the word. A little bit of roughness, say about 180, I guess. And I sanded this to 220 and then hit it with a couple coats of boiled linseed oil, and that's pretty much about 180 right there. I don't like my handles to be really slippery. I figure I'm gonna have to refinish or redo the outside of the bowl because it's moved since I last worked on it. Yeah, not terrible, not great, but this was we'll call this an experiment. So we'll see how that works out. All right, I thought perhaps, and I don't remember what my idea was here, but I think I'm going to go with a calabash style bowl. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There it is. Looks like it's running close to true right there, but we're gonna make sure. So that's going into the chuck. It's going to be a round bottom bowl, but a calabash style bowl. They're typically larger. It's like a community serving bowl, but they have a wide rounded bottom, so they sit on the table, and you can tip it towards you to scoop out stew or whatever, and then the bowl will just go right back to its own center, roll back and not tip over all the way. They're very nice, very cool design. I think the idea really came from the shape of gourds. I think gourds were the first, might have been the first calabash style bowl. So I'm not 100% on that. I probably, well, I have to look into that. I'm not sure, but I think that's correct. We're just gonna chew this thing up really quick, and then rework, refine the surface on the outside. Well, the rim itself kind of curves a little bit inward on a calabash style bowl. So again, think of the gourd shape of like gourd, but a secondary nice little feature about that is that since the rim is turned up and when you tip the bowl to scoop out, it's not going to slosh over the rim necessarily. And I don't think you slap the bowl to drop it either. I think think that might be considered rude. But just scraping the outside a little bit. I want to do some shear scraping all the way down the outside of the bowl here. And let's see if it's dry enough to throw some 220 on it. It does hold the tool very securely. That's very nice. Unique Blues quick release. It's definitely secure. At least so far as I have been turning so far. We'll see. I haven't cut a lot of a piece that has a lot of air that I'll be cutting with it to see. I've done a little bit, but not a ton. And I really want to see how it handles. I know what the robust will do, or what I expect the robust to do, because I've experienced it. This one is new. I'm just going a really light touch here. Ah, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. All right. I am glad you have at least that outlet for these, man. Oh hell, I just did splits the other day. I should have. Well, I'm not sure if you'd have been off work, but anyway, I should have given you a call, see if you were in town. 2 days ago, I did splits. Finally warm enough at night to split the hive and move food and eggs over. Got to worry about them getting chilled and dying. But it was in the 50s 2 nights ago, and it's going to stay there now. It looks like so. It's a good time to actually do my splits finally. So just got to keep an eye on them. I don't have any. I'm asking them to raise their own queens. So I gave them the eggs and the brood and cap brood, cap and uncapped brood. And check on them in a couple of days and see if they started turning one of those eggs or if they turned one of those eggs into a queen cell, or I need to pull and maybe look in the other hives and see if they're building queen cells and allow that one. Or eggs. And eggs, no fan eggs. Okay. So now on to the shear scraping. Oh, yeah. I've got one more. So I guess it was a total of 6 of the jester ones. I've got 2 of the wood ones we built. But we built like 4, so I'm hoping that you gave those to. I don't think I got those. got two, 4 boxes, 2 bottom boards, and two top covers for them. So I might use those. Save me from having to buy anymore anyway, and they're still usable. So, sooner or later, no rush. Well, this is a really, really light touch, and I'm going downhill. Well, actually, I am going downhill through the fibers. But since my cutting edge is, I have to face my cutting edge in the direction where it would go downhill of the fibers. This curve here goes up to this rounded part here, and this curve comes up this way. So I have to have bottom wing of my tool at a really shallow angle there, and then I have to actually flip the tool over and use the other wing to come up this way. So I'm going downhill to the fibers as I shear scrape. Very, very light touch. These are the really fine shavings that are coming off there. This is one of those skills it pays to really practice being gentle with, using tool steel off the side of the leg on it. Oh well, I gotta mind it. I don't need to walk around for this. Doesn't seem like there's really any vibration here, so. But there's clearly a little. You can make a heavy cut with a shear scrape, but the idea is that you're just knocking off the high points. So getting a fairly smooth surface. Knocking off the high points. And makes the sanding work much faster, much less of it to do. I'm probably not talking loud enough, I apologize. Anyway, really good shear scraping. Really limits the amount of sanding you actually have to do. And that is a really nice surface. So 220 it is after I pick up these pieces of tool steel from the shavings down there. There's one. I've got
Paranoid Squatch said, "Hey, really nice to see you hanging out tonight."
Thanks, man. All right, so yeah, sanding. So time to put on the mask. And let's see, where's my dude? There you are. Get some fresh abrasive after I put the mask on. All right. Let's see, that is 320. I don't want that. I want the 220. Don't be afraid to swap out your sandpaper when it's just not cutting right for you. It's not gonna get any better. Once the sharp ends of everything are broken off, it loses its effectiveness. This is a frangible tool, I guess you could say. Just like a grinder wheel, standard grinder with stone or ceramic grinder wheel. It's frangible also, it wears away. So with the sanding, I want to go downhill with the fibers. So I had to switch sides, and I see I can do a little bit more here. And then I think I'll go over it with just a light touch, lighter touch.
Here, blasting music and can't hear anything else.
Try Ray Ray. Well, maybe you won't be able to hear me then, but hey, how's it going? Good to see you. I see that. And I don't know if it is the wood grain or a sanding mark. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Well, that was a sanding mark. It also looks like a bit of a sanding mark. All right, I'm going to hit the compressor and make this bit go a little faster.
Tree Ray Ray said, "How he did?" Only for a few seconds.
Oh, okay. Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in.
Said,
Listen. I guess that won't take very long.
Paranoid Squatch said, "Looks are appreciated for sure."
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we're all set, man. We'll see. If that all holds together just fine once it dries. It's time to put this dude in the chuck and hollow it out.
Tree Ray Ray said, "Always fun to watch a pro doing their thing."
Well, I don't know. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I don't know. I'm working on that pro part, I guess, but probably always will be. It's just something I really, really enjoy doing. So, but I'm the poster child for practice because I put a lot of hours into this because I started as therapy for PTSD, and so had a lot of nights that I was out here in the shop because I couldn't sleep, and all that time paid off. I mean, I took classes. My first mentor was Jameson. Worked with him for a number of years. Worked in his shop too. It was got to learn a lot from that fella. But I have taken classes from quite a few wood turners, and have enjoyed the experience all the way around. Whoops. Yep, I forgot to do that. I need to put a, since this is dovetail jaws, I need to put a tiny bit of a dovetail on this tenon. And I done forgot. Oh man, things work so much better when you maintain them. I took my tailstock apart. Nope, I don't need that one. And cleaned out the threads in the quill and oiled things, and boy, it works like a dream now. All right. Wow, that was a huge assumption too, but I got lucky. By assumption, I mean that clearly I expected to be running true as soon as I put it between centers, and that is not always the case. I already had my tool in hand, I already made that assumption. But it is not always the case. I don't like to take things out of, from between centers if I can avoid it, and trying to, having to try to put them back, because it doesn't always work out. It can be difficult sometimes to find that center again. You need to come out, dude. Now we can go to the chuck. I've got a piece. Dave. Squatcha. Hey, man, I've got this piece of the blah, honey locust root ball. And that's what I'm going to whip out next, man, what I'm doing with that. That stuff is just so much dirt, and I don't know, it's chewing my tools up, but it looks like it's going to be a really nice looking, one or two nice looking turned objects. The wood really looks cool. So as soon as this bowl is done, I'll be pulling that out. So keep your eyes peeled, man. You won't recognize it now, though, because, there's not really that much bark left on it.
Said, "Can you blow off most of the dirt?"
I got as much dirt as I could out, but with the bark and the little crevices that are in between, where the roots grow together, and sometimes when they grow together, they trap the dirt in the wood. It's just really abrasive to turn. I expected that, though, because it was a root ball. It's been in the ground, and it's so I cleaned it out as well as I could, and that's where I'm at. So that's why I've got 5 bowl gouges sharpened.
Paranoid Squatch said, "I saw you lobbed off some chunks. Yeah, I'm excited to see that."
Okay, don't need that tool. Make sure we're on center here. And I could go down a little bit. I could go down a little bit more. Well, I can actually reach that one. That one rolled free as soon as I set it down and fell on the other side in the shavings.
Tree Ray Ray said, "Oh, Paranoid Squatch, thanks for the gifted sub a few days ago."
Alright, so let's see, let's true this up. So especially because this is at least partially, yeah, they're still watering it. The shavings are wet. It's not green, like it's not freshly cut, but it's still green. It's not completely seasoned. So I'm going to take this in stages because I fully expect the rim of the bowl to, there we go, the rim of the bowl to start flexing as I'm getting thinner and thinner. Shavings everywhere. It's awesome. Alright, let's see. I think I picked that one a little bit more. Still just a little bit high. Alright. Trying to establish the wall thickness here. So, just a little bit thicker down low towards that outer bowl. Now it's even. You see it's already started to change shape a little bit. It's not centered on the outside anymore. Alright, let's see. I need to get down here. What in the world am I too high? Got a lot closer to the workpiece, and now the tool rest is a little too high. Unless it's my drawing. Wow, it is. Okay, that's fairly even. Oh man, can't believe I pulled that off. All the way around that corner. There we go, nice and even. Alright, so you can't see the bow tie on the inside. I was wondering if that would be a thing. Goodness. bunch of shavings getting caught up in the covers over there. Nice. And since I got to reach across the machine, we'll turn the machine off. Alright, so just a little bit off on the thickness. So good right there. So you can see it. I can move the sides a little bit. I've got, well, there's another crack. So it's splitting on the same part, right where the pith used to be. It used to be somewhere out here. If you look at my fingernail, it's somewhere right out there where the end of my fingernail was. So, well, I'm going to finish the bowl, but I'll have to find something else to do with that feller. Can't do the bow tie now. All right. Okay, since I have, well, let's see what that looks like. It's not bad. I'm really worried about that part, that crack. Let's see. I want to try to use negative rake scraper here. Be still. It's a really light touch. Get some nice shavings out of it. that cleaned it up pretty well. There's a few little barely noticeable tool marks, but clean that up on the edge to get more of a shear scrape. Yeah, that took care of it. So now I'm going to work on the rest of that there. Let's take a look at my depth. Plenty to work with. Gotta watch that split too. I can't lean against the rim of the bowl. Not that I usually do, but I gotta really make sure I don't do that. Right there. Oh, that's why, Dave. Got my tool rest too high because I raised it for the shear scraper. Drop that down. That explains getting around that corner. Okay. That's nicely cut. So you can see the bowl is really starting to wobble, but I'm just about done here. There we go. So now I just got a little bit of the bottom to deal with. And for that, I used a little inspiration from David Ellsworth and Richard Raffin, going across the bottom using the upper wing to get more of a sheer cut rather than the lower wing, as is the usual. Okay, that's nice. I think, let's see, how does that feel? I think I need to take just a little bit more out there. That feels better. Feels like a more continuous curve. No real flat spots or anything like that. Cool. There we go. See, I got just a little bit happening right there. Again, a really light touch. Still getting good shavings. Yeah, that took care of it right there. Cool.
Coffee Stream Bot said. IMDAVE question graph equals Twitch.
All right. I guess it's as good a time as any to talk about the coffee stream bot. When I started streaming, I started a coffee fundraiser page to help get some equipment. Always working on improving the stream. And that's what comes up, the coffee stream bot. It's so if you'd like to donate to the channel, there's several ways to do it. You can buy a subscription, that'll work. You can go to my coffee page, make a donation there. That goes towards equipment for the studio. I'd like to add another, well, at least one more camera. I know probably more, but one more. Probably, I think one will probably do it, but I might do two for my sharpening station, so I can stream that and show people how I do my sharpening. Okay, so we're ready to flop this dude around. So it's a really nice shape bowl. It's going to have a wide, slightly rounded bottom. It's still going to sit relatively flat. Because it's green, it's going to change shape and become misshapen. Unfortunately, that split right there, we'll see what happens with it. I'll have to figure out another way to repair that. But all in all, very, very nice shape. I like the wood and the grain. Hopefully this bowl will survive. We'll figure out something. All right, let's see. I just had my piece of leather over here. There it is. And I think I'll get rid of that guy. See if I can find a piece of square. I have a couple of squares cut. of this shelf liner stuff, or had. I probably gone through them all. I guess I need to cut some more. I don't have any, so we'll just go with the leather. I like to use a shelf liner in there too, because it's a little bit more cushion, but this piece of leather will be all right. All right, let's move that guy out of the way. Gonna have to fix that grind on that tool. All right, so basically just using the pressure of the tailstock as a friction drive. They're using that piece of leather to drive the piece rather than trying to get it into a clamping situation. It's thin-walled bowl, and I want to get rid of the bottom without having to try to, grab the rim or whatever. So this is a really, really good option. Might be running true already. But what I want to make sure that I have, actually, let's test it. That's close. So the amount of pressure that I want to have this way, the tailstock pressing in, is only enough to keep me from easily turning this and scooting that piece of leather around. Just that much. It's not that much. What I'm trying to do is avoid too much pressure and pressing that leather and wood into the bottom of this bowl and creating an indentation or a burnish mark, and making it more difficult to work the piece. So I don't want to leave any marks on the inside. But I am not sure that this is... Let's go off this guy. No, let's not go off that guy. Let's go off here. There we go. Got it. Man, I love it when that happens. Got it first try. It doesn't happen very often. Alright, how sharp are you? Are you sharp enough for that? So I'm going to pull this guy back into service because I don't have to worry about that upper wing on this outside surface. Woo! Alright, so I didn't have enough pressure against it and it started skipping. And that's my bad. I needed to add a little bit more pressure than what I had on it. Hopefully it didn't create a burnish mark. It may have. Okay, it's running through now. Let's put, where'd you go? There you are. Oh, still move it. There, that should be enough. I'm not going to take heavy cuts either because this is a friction drive. But even that light cut, because I didn't have enough pressure, caused the bowl to scoot a little bit, or sketch on the leather. So there might be, unfortunately, a burnish mark in there. it going. Tailstock is backing off a little bit. All right. Don't know why I stopped it. I should keep going here. Again, this is a really, really light touch. This, and they're just breaking apart as soon as I tip them up. They're very, very, very fine shaving. And that surface should be good enough, yep, to throw 220 on it really quick. Yep, come on, get out of there. And gonna mask up for that. There we go. So now, cut that tenon off. Although I probably could snap it off, but I don't want to do that. The grain is running parallel to the bottom here on this little tenon. I don't want to break it off because that might create a hole in the bottom of the bowl. There we go. And I don't like parting things off at this point. Because that can tear out fibers from the bottom of the bowl too. Let's see what happened with that slip. Oh, nice. It did not burnish the inside. I'm really, really lucky. So just got to sand that off.
Here, 2 on 1 phone in the up, turn.
Hey, 2 on 1 phone in the UP. Where'd you guys wind up? Where are you at up there? I know you're making the rounds, so to speak. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. I gotta go start that compressor again. That's not enough air for this guy. There we go. Oh man, the figure in this bull. Newberry Marquette. Ha 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 ha. There we go. So even Marquette. It's up by Sioux, isn't it? Yeah. Way up to the Great White North. Okay, this guy is done, so that's... Oh, I guess I could always put a... let me sign that. I should sign that. And then we'll move on to that root ball. All right, I'm going to turn you off for a minute. Whoop. Wow. Just had a momentary lapse of reason and put in 24 as the year that I turned that. Had to change that. Like, whoops. A bit late for that. All right, so let this bowl finish drying, but it's got some really nice chatoyance on the inside. See what happens. Looks like there's some on the... It's more on the inside. Oh, there's some right there. Could just be the curve of the bowl. Anyway, that's Calabash style bowl. Long, shallow curve. So you can tip it up and it just goes right back down. There's no foot or anything to get in the way. And a slightly curved inward rim so that as it's tipping, things won't just slosh right over. That's my theory. Mostly, I think the whole form and function just came from when they made them out of gourds. If that information is accurate. All right. Put this on a shelf so it can dry. Hopefully that crack won't destroy the bowl. Did it rain again? Wow. Had some rain on and off for most of the afternoon. or afternoon and evening anyway. I can move this guy away. I'm going to use the longer tool rest. I don't need this guy. But I do need my drive center. There we go. Let's move this side. I need to, not that guy. Well, actually, I'm going to refresh the edge on both these tools so that I will have 5 bowl gouges. I won't have to sharpen as often. But this is why I have that donation page up there. So as a disabled vet, it takes a little while to save up for stuff like that. So if you're asking for a little help in improving the channel, if you'd like to visit my Ko-fi page, make a donation, it will go towards equipment for the broadcast. And I thank you very much for your support. In fact, I thank everybody that's on this channel for their support. And without viewers, there wouldn't be a reason to have this channel, I guess. It'd be kind of lonesome if I've been streaming for, let's see, what are we? We're almost June, so almost a year and a half, not quite. And everybody I've met on this channel, on the platform anyway, has been really, really groovy. Okay, that one's done. Or is it? Let's go. A little bit more. It's important the grinds that you use, that they're repeatable. So that when you go to sharpen, your sharpening time is not so extended. Trying to chase. I use a Wolverine system right now. I intend to take some classes from, I don't know, Stuart Batty, Jack Vesey, these guys hand sharpen, maybe Jimmy Cruz, I think he hand sharpens his stuff too. I don't know if he uses a jig, but that's something I'd really like. Skills I'd really like to pick up myself. All right. So now I got to fix the grind on this other tool. I think I just did. Almost. Doesn't really matter what grind you prefer to use, as long as you can achieve that same grind every time. And that's why, like for instance, the Wolverine jig makes it very easy for me to just do a straight, well, okay, it's not a straight 60-degree grind because it's not an Irish grind, but it is modified. What is the etymology? I think it is Ellsworth, Irish, modified Irish, Ellsworth, and then Lyle Jameson modified Ellsworth grind, and that's what I'm using is Lyle Jameson's his modified Irish grind. So it's a 60-degree sweat back. Irish grind. I think that got it. Turn around, look at it from another light. Okay, whole lot of nothing on the screen. Sorry about that, but I really need to get these tools sharp because this root ball is just tearing tearing my tools up, man. All that grit and stuff that's inside all the little crevices and whatever the wood itself is picked up. So let's whip that bad boy out here. So this is honey locust root ball. It is very hard. Oh, I guess I needed to do that, did I? All right, let's move that way. And so I started with some ideas on this dude. So you see the bark still attached. There's still some dirt in the crevices. I brushed everything out, blew it out, washed it off, tried to get as much out as I could, but you know, it's still ingrained into the wood, even where the bark inclusions are, which there are many because this was roots growing past each other and into each other. So you can see all these spots where little roots were coming out of this center portion, convoluting, growing together, all that stuff. So I thought this might make a really neat looking hollow form. And that left me this. So I think that will be also a neat little hollow form. In theory. Okay, let's see. Still running true. But I got this. My buddy Paranoid Squatch works at 3 days a week, which it's in chat for the days that he's there if you'd like to meet him. Go learn about bees and bugs and stuff. He looks at the Williamsburg. I always get this wrong. Butterbud Pavilion and Bug Zoo.
Butterfly House and Bug Zoo.
Butterfly House. See, I always get it wrong. Thanks. But he's really knowledgeable about bees. Having been a beekeeper and going through the Here's the Hives project.
Paranoid Squatch said, "Thanks, Dave."
So you can learn more about not just from this channel, but people in other people out there too. So Paranoid Squatch at the Butterfly House and Bug Zoo in Williamsburg, Michigan. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I think he wrote in chat, but it's in chat. Anyway, they had removed a honey locust tree for some, I don't know why they had to remove it, but they removed it, and it was more of a honey locust bush, as they tend to like to grow sometimes. So I got a main trunk and then a bunch of other little sister trunks coming out of it and stuff like that. But the root ball they took the root ball out of the ground, and he let me know about that wood being there, so we've got some saved away for when he and I can get together, and I can teach him a little wood turning, and we'll have that honey locust to turn, and I got this root ball that I'm turning now. So, thank you, sir. And it goes them quick, man. But like I said, I was expecting it was a root ball. Even with burls, you can get that too. There's dust and stuff trapped in with the burl wood. Okay, that's actually a pretty decent shape. I'm liking that shape, so I'm gonna go with that. And now, and I think I do like the wider rim. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep that, but I think I'm liking it. And it'll capture some of the color of the very center of the tree, which there was some reds and stuff in there. It was really cool.
Dave Left's Co-FI page ad.
I need to adjust that. It just seems like it sets itself off a little too often.
Twitch.
Coffee stream bot. I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm going to switch now. Actually, yeah, I'm going to switch to a shorter tool rest. I'm really trying to take my time and be careful here because as I'm shear scraping, there's a lot of air that's going by. So I don't want to hop and skip around. There's my time. If you catch those edges as they come around, it can pop your tool off of the surface of the wood and bounce on the other side and kind of make contact again. Leave an interesting tool mark that can be hard to remove. There we go. It's looking good. Come on. It started when my tool steel like this one is almost too short to sharpen. I'm about out of flute anyway. Um, but when I primarily had handled bowl gouges, when I had to upgrade to a new bowl gouge because the handle, everything getting in the way, I couldn't get this to the grinder wheel. I started taking them out of the handle and using them unhandled as shear scrapers because I can get this in my jig and sharpen it still. With these new quick release handles, I can still use this steel, even though I've got a couple of bowl gouges on my tool bench on the other side of the lathe that I have set aside primarily as shear scrapers because they're too short, or they were too short in the handle to sharpen. Oh yeah, that's a nice surface. Very cool. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna leave that lower part alone for a little bit because I don't want to take off too much. I've got to figure out now where I'm going to part these two because I'm going to have two turned objects out of this. So let's see. Let's follow that. Okay, so I need to work the curve there a little bit. So you know what? I'm going to do that now because I have to clean it up anyway. Let's see if I go that way. It goes, yeah, okay. Another great bit of advice I learned is if the cut's not working for you, back out of it. Get out of the cut and start over. It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse because once you start chopping up the surface, then the tool's going to want to start to bounce on you. So if you miss the cut or you come out of the cut or it's not cut the way you want, back out of the cut. Yeah, this tool is just about done. Yeah, the shear scraping's going here. Okay, not bad. So I'll finish up the shear scraping with this tool and move on to fresh steel. Okay, it looks very nice. Ready for the abrasive. I think that's probably, we'll see if it's dry enough. But this is I mean, super fine shavings. That's what I'm pulling off when I'm shear scraping. So time to set this tool steel aside since it has done its job. Move the next one up. Grab this. Mask up for a second, and we'll throw some abrasive on this. A second. For just a little bit. There. Almost sounds like playing cards between bicycles first. Many of you are old enough to remember that. That used to be a thing. I used to be a participant. And I set you where? Where did I set you? 320. You are 180. I don't want you. There you are. 2 and 20. Yeah, that's why I keep a light touch on the abrasives when I'm working with them. I don't want to get pulled into the machine. I'm okay if it pulls it out of my hand. Machines don't care if you scream. They won't stop because they're empathetic if you're getting wrapped up in it. So I'll go after the abrasive and pick it back up. That's alright with me. I don't have anything caught up in the layers that I want to keep. Body parts are pretty important. There's a limited supply. I'll be doggone if I didn't lose another tool steel. Come on back here. Okay, that looks like a nice surface, but I want to go. Just a little bit more out of it. Oh, I'm curious. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my UV light because now I just remembered that. Yeah, this is honey locust. Let's see if this fluoresces. Black locust will pretty much fluoresce every time. Let's see. That is not the guy. That's the guy. Let's take a gander here and see if this actually fluoresces. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, The bark does. Oh, well, the very center of it does. Can you see? You can't see that. How about now? So that part fluoresces. And that is a red color last time I checked, but not there's little bits and pieces in here and there that fluoresce, but it's not the main part of the wood, which is normal for honey locust, but that's still kind of an interesting glow pattern there. So let's get set back up here. Oh, too far. Oh no, I guess not. Excuse me. Pardon me. Water break. All right, so I need to follow this curve, and it's going to end somewhere down in here. So I'm actually going to part this guy off here. Oh, parting tool. All right, so if I follow that curve, it's going to go right about there, which means I need at least this much. Cut that tenon away, or cut the tenon anyway to separate them. I thought I got all the way through. Let's grab that saw again. There we go. I guess technically I could have parted that all the way off, but this is also heavy wood, heavy wet. Let's see, let's put this back in the bag for now. So I think that'll make an interesting hollow form too. All right. So it's kind of pinkish red, but that's the part that's actually fluorescing. That's interesting. All right, I need to find my center again. Go grab my center finder. this camera up a little bit. Too far. Too much lag. Bear with me, it'll work out here in a second. I shouldn't have moved this camera. There we go. Get it in the center. Alright, so it looks like it's running true. Not quite. Let's call that close enough. Oh, what I need to do is give myself a dovetail here. For my chuck. Alrighty, now it's time for the interesting part. I'm gonna hollow this dude out, which means my bowl gouge is now no longer making a difference. No advantage there. I only have one 5/8 spindle gouge. But it's sharpened and ready to go. I will just have to sharpen pretty often, I think. And now, I really get to test this guy. So it's going to be coming at me that way. So I want to go that way. Hey, now, be still. Okay, remove the live center so it doesn't poke me in the elbow at some point, because that hurts. Get my death towel ready with a chuck on the way. There we go. Work my way back to this part of the lathe. hope that tenon isn't too large. It might be. No, just barely. I probably should. Yep, I probably should. I'm going to switch to my larger jaw so I've got a more secure hold on that thing. But that won't take me very long to swap out. I really do like the idea of multiple chucks so that I have multiple jaw arrangements, but until I am a wealthy artist or wealthy teacher, it's going to be a while before I get another chuck. Okay. Alrighty. So I have side grain and end grain on this piece but this is mostly in spindle orientation. So I'm not expecting a lot of weird issues hollowing with the spindle gouge. But I am reasonably certain that I'm going to have to sharpen it many times. Groovy. Gotta make sure everything is secure as it can be. Spinning, rotating machinery. Things inevitably will be loosening here and there. Hey, Abaddis, how you doing, man?
About is, said, I have been lurking.
Yeah. What do you do? Or did you tell? You probably might have told me that already. But I don't remember, sorry. Oh, let me guess now. This is going to be... I hope these jaws aren't too big now. In which case, yep, I think they are. Yes, sir. So I guess I'm going back to the other jaws, darn it. I really need to write that on my lathe, so let's start with that now. I've got 4 3/16, so 16ths, and I'll get a permanent marker and do this. So it will be there all the time. The pencil markings will definitely rub off. Well, guess I get to do this twice, but that happens too. And now that I've written down that measurement, I can write down this one as well, which is something I probably should have done already. To streamline the process of choosing chuck jaws.
Coffee Stream Bot said, visit
Again.
Dave Life's co-fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE ?
Easy there, cowboy. Alrighty. For those of you who might be in town on July 26th, Traverse City Crooked Tree Arts Center in Traverse City has an annual art fair. Art show, things available for purchase. It is at the Civic Center on the 26th of July from 10 to 4, I believe. Nice open air setting. It's a nice little spot in town. I will be there with a booth set up. And then the following weekend, August 2nd and 3rd, I will be in Suttons Bay at the Suttons Bay Art Show. So, hey, if you're in town, come on by and say hi. I would appreciate it. Or rather, I do appreciate it. All right. I don't want to take the tenon down too much more either, so this is a weighty mass. Probably would do myself some good and see if they have an intermediary size of jaw, because this one just about maxes out this set, which is not ideal. There, let's go with that. And I'll have to check it every now and then just to be sure, because it's green wood and it is going to compress itself. Let's get rid of this tool for a second. And so the chuck, the hold the chuck has will slowly loosen. And let's see, I guess it was this one. So I'll check that every so often to make sure that the piece is as secure as I can make it. Now let's get to dead center here. Take me a couple tries to get right to it. I want to get rid of that vibration so that when I'm top cutting in this thing, it's not adding to the difficulty level. We don't need to increase the difficulty level. Still a little bit low. There we go. Nope, still just a touch low. So we go to there. Boy, howdy, this wood is hard. Makes sense, of course. I mean, it is the support of the tree, right? A little deeper than that. About right. So not doing what you would call a traditional cut. Doing what's at least called in France anyway, top cutting. We call it bottom cutting, or at least that's how I when I heard about the concept. I read about the concept in one of Richard Raffin's books. And I'm cutting up along the top surface of the piece, not the bottom. Surprisingly, this fender gouge seems to be cutting just fine. So perhaps it's because most of the dirt and grit was on the outside of the root ball. Sure, there's probably still some grit in here too, but the tool is lasting. The edge of the tool is lasting longer than I thought it might. Keep cleaning that stuff out. There's a small hole for it to escape from, and my tool's covering up most of it. Alright, let's see. I do have a flashlight right next to me. Oh yeah, that's opening up really nice. Okay. Howdy y'all have been lurking. Yes. Hey man, lurkers. I'll take lurkers too. Wow, 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 wow. I'm going to grab some water and a paper towel because that steel is hot. Yikes.
Why do you need to hollow it out in such a small hole?
Well, because I'm top cutting, I need the rim of the hole. I'm using the rim of the hole as a fulcrum, and I have to hollow it out in stages. So I start off with a hole that's really not much bigger than the tool to start working that out, and then as I need to get further out to the wall, I open the hole wider and wider and wider, but I still need that edge here of the rim to have a fulcrum against, because I can't use the tool rest for that.
About is said cool.
Cannot use the tool rest for that. Okay. We'll set that wet rag over there. Still pretty warm. Just soak up that heat for me, will you? And if I was just back hollowing or top cutting like a bowl, I wouldn't need this, because I have to make a diagonal cut this way, but it's going across the inside, the roof of the piece. So I need this here to provide that fulcrum, so I can make those cuts safely. So I am experiencing a little bit of slippage with the Jimmy Clues too. The Jimmy Clues took the loose as well. But it's not bad enough that it's twisting the tool around or trying to twist it out. I can feel just a little bit of slippage.
Wow, you are pulling material out fast.
Yeah, that's another reason why I like doing it this way. I saw Richard rapping. I've watched a couple of videos from Richard rapping, but I gotta check my chuck hold now. Where he was doing backhauling to do bowls and to open them up real fast to get his bowl scraper in there. And I thought that was really, really neat. And I thought, hey, man, can that be adapted to like do hollow forms? Because that would be badass. And so I worked at it and worked at it and worked at it and finally came up with, yes, you can. And this is the way you do it. I'm not saying I'm the only one that's figured this out, but I have not seen this much in the U.S. Actually, I haven't seen it anywhere in the U.S. Doing a hollow form this way. Cooling off my steel here. And for me, one of the benefits is clearly I don't need a special tool. I don't need a special hollowing system to do this. And that's a huge bonus. A lot less to carry when I'm traveling. Now, if this were a deeper form, and I couldn't get my spindle guides down at the bottom, then I would use a hollowing system. Because the handle of this tool just isn't long enough. The handle, the shaft of the tool isn't long enough. To reach the bottom of deeper forms. So with this one, I can get the tool all the way down to the bottom. Let's see, I should have some air left. Oh, very nice. Okay, cool. And relation to the bottom. Right where I want to be. Sweet! Alright, so now I really just have to focus on, I've got my depth, I really just have to focus on the wall thickness. Readjust my chuck hold. green wood's wanting to scoot around a little bit because I'm really putting pressure on it. So let's just move it a little bit. And at some point, we're going to start seeing these voids open up. These areas where there's going to be voids. This one will be a void too. Since I moved it, I threw up my rim here. So I'm not giving the tool any vibration while I'm riding along that rim. Oh, I must have taken a little bit out of the rim there. Yep. Cool that tool down again. It gets, rubbing on that rim, and then the action on the inside really heats the tool steel up quite a bit. Too hot to handle. All right, let's blow that out and take a peek. Oh, that's looking really nice. Really clean surface. Very nice. Okay. Oh yeah, so there's a little chunk out of the rim right there, you can see. If I rotate that up, a little notch in it. And that's giving me a little bit of vibration. And I gotta get rid of that. So that my tool's not bouncing around every time I hit that.
Say, everybody's howdy. Nice to see you.
Woo, yep. Jimmy Clue's tool is loosening a little bit too. Still, I think in this case it's holding better than the other guy. Not sure though. I mean, this is the first time I've hollowed with it, so. Okay, yeah, looking really good. Wall thickness is just, it's getting there. Don't care for that. Let me double check my chuck hold here. All right. Let's see, I'm not sure what I'm hitting inside, but I bet it's those little branchlets coming out. Yep. All right. Was kind of hogging stuff out earlier. Now I'm being a little more deliberate because, yeah, that's my wall thickness that I want. Because well, I might have to take it down a little bit more. But I'm getting really close to the wall thickness that I'm after. And it's time to put a new edge on this guy. That's interesting. So the tool heated up and it got stuck in the Jimmy Clues because it expanded. Still, it wasn't too terrible or too difficult to take out. Just kind of keeping a running commentary on this, I guess, because this is my first go around with the Jimmy Clues, and like I say, I really like the idea of one handle mini tools, especially for doing demos, travel. Even going to Aramont, which I will have the opportunity to do in October. Less to carry, to lug around from state to state and place to place. Okay, let's see. I need two. And I am very particular about my grinds, but I know what I need to get out of them. I don't think that's any different than any other turner out there.
Coffee Stream 5 said, visit Dave West for images. https://go-fi.com/HIIMDADD.
All right, did that get it? Not quite, almost.
That is said. Yeah, paranoid squatch.
And a little bit more right there. I think that's about got it. When I sharpen, I've got a light right in front of me that I can check my grinds, but I find it really helpful to turn away from the light and have shadow so I can see just the curve of the wings, the curve of the grind, because that helps me dial in the shape that I'm looking for. And for this, top cutting, back hollowing, well, actually with any gouge, I want the point of the tool here to be the same width as the flute at the bottom. So that point, you can see, if you follow that flute up, that's the width of the flute. And then I want the wing swept back. This is a 50-degree grind on a spindle gouge. But on all my gouges, I want the point to be dead center in the flute and as wide as the flute is.
Paranoid squatch said, do you have or use any ID calipers?
Yes, ID and OD. I do, and I keep my ODs pretty handy. My IDs are in the toolbox, but yes, I do. I've gotten away from a lot of checking thickness with calipers because I've been doing this a while, and it's getting a lot easier to determine thickness without having to resort to calipers. Calipers are a handy tool, though, no doubt. Now I'm getting really close. I haven't broken through any of my... Okay, so I need to go further up that way. Any of the spots that might have a void.
Paranoid squatch said,
yeah. Yeah, I think it's fun to watch wood turning for that reason. I'll watch it too, but of course I get the itch when I'm watching people too. It's like, man, I gotta turn. But I really do enjoy watching people turn and talk to them about their process and how they get from point A to point B. But watching the shavings fly is a big part of the allure. Rim trued up again. So I'm bouncing around a little bit on the inside, and I'm pretty sure now I'm starting to come through here. But that's the only spot so far. I think it's because of the end grain that I'm hitting on these little rootlet branches. But it's not terrible yet, so I will just slow down some more. The tool's heating up, and it's heating up the rim of that wood, and I can smell the smoke of this wood friction burning. Oh yes, that's it. Oh, nice. I think I just got right at the wall thickness that I wanted. I was going to carve through those. I wasn't going to make this a super thin piece. I would say a chunk. Yep, there's another chunk. Take my time, and everything will be okay. Okay, so that up to that point is my wall thickness. So let's open this up a little bit more. Because I need to get right up into here. Alright, so I'm actually coming out. I'm breaking through on those voids. And that's caused me to bounce around. But I'm at my wall thickness that I wanted, so I'm going to stick with that. Let's... finish off my rim there. Hello, I don't know what I just caught, but as I was pulling away, something caught. Well, isn't that a bummer? So there's nothing torn out, so it must have caught this crack here, that's okay. The thickness is even pretty much all the way through, so I just need to clean up the bottom. I was pretty sure I was going to wind up carving some of these out anyway, because here I've got somehow or another, when they tore this root ball out and they were trying to cut things off, they made some saw marks in there. But it just so happens to be, and this was down into the root ball, so I don't know what they were trying to cut away. But anyway, I needed to get rid of that, so I was going to carve this out anyway into a void. All right. So how does this look? Pretty good. Yeah, there we go.
I wonder if THXD was from a shovel or maybe a pickaxe. Not sure how they pulled it out.
Oh, yeah, well, it looks like it's two saw curves, so I'm not sure. Maybe they were cutting off a root that was coming out this way or something, but I don't know. I can't tell. But anyway, there was some saw marks in there, but they just happened to be in spots that I wanted to create voids anyway, so it's like not a problem. When I originally saw them, I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to really make this a small hollow for them. I wanted it, something this size, and I thought that's what I was going to wind up with, but something smaller. But turns out I am not. I'm just cleaning up a few tool marks, and I'm going to take my bowl gouge. And clean up the nub in the bottom, I hope. Right? Bob Ross, man. The Bob Ross mentality. What I'm saying. All right, let's see. I need a longer tool steel, so that will probably do. And looking into the void. Oh yeah, I can get that. I just need my light to point down in there. There we go. Well, that's not going to work out well, so I think instead I'm going to use my negative rig scraper to get that little nub off. Should be all right. Oh yeah. All right, cool. So fairly even all the way down. Even looking through the void and feeling through the void. All right, it's a little heavy in the bottom. Just a little. All right, I can accept that. That'll work. All right, so I want to gauge my depth. I'm going to use my super fancy depth gauge here. Yellow, number 2. And that puts me right in that neighborhood, inside bottom. So let's check again, and I'll mark it somewhere else. It puts me right there. So if I trace this corner, then I should have plenty. I should have the right amount of thickness in the bottom, that being the bottom, if that is correct. I usually run this twice, and I'll move the piece, and this is why. Draw a line and see if it goes through both. And it pretty much does. So I'm pretty sure that is an accurate reading on the bottom. I just need to finish the shape. How are we doing on time? Not bad. All right, cool. So this piece will be completely done before, well, at least as far as turning anyway. The grain in, I wish you could see in there. Let's see, can you? Let me hold it in the right
Paranoid
spot.
said, the old measure twice, cut once at age.
Measure twice, cuss once. Yeah. Pretty clean in there. That's really, really nice surface in there. I like the feature and capturing all these little rootlets. I can't wait to get finished on this, but after I get it done, carving all this out. But let's get this dude into a jam chuck. And I know just the guy. All right, let's remove this. Oh, man, so much shavings. But yeah, man, you can really clear out a ton of shavings pretty quick doing turning that way. And that's why I'm really glad I, stuck with it and figured it out, because I think it can help a lot of turners. And I'm trying, that's one of the things that I teach. So I think it can help a lot of turners. It is a more advanced technique, but it limits how many tools you actually have to carry. It's just an alternative hollowing technique to what, and I know there's hollowing tools and handheld hollowing tools, all that stuff. But this way, like I say, I don't have to buy extra tools. I already have a spindle gouge. I don't need to buy a hollowing tool. Not for this orientation of piece, anyway. Am I still? No, I'm not. Need another tool. Let's see. How about this guy? Nope. At least I'm getting there. So when I do jam chucks for hollow forms, stuff like this, I like to be able to grip it on the outside instead of an internal grip to force it open, especially now that I've got this crack. But at any point, I would much rather grab it on the outside and get a compression hold than an expansion hold, because it's thin-walled, it's spinning around really fast. Any issues will just have, it can just blow apart on you. But if it's on a compression hold, there's far less chance of that happening. I have done the compression holes in chucks like that. A lot of my pieces, when I design the rim, or considering the rim, I'm considering how the size of the rim. In this case, it's a bead, and that is what, 3/8, half an inch bead. Whether that will fit in the chuck jaws or not. Much smaller hollow forms, the bead or the rim is much less than half an inch, and I can easily get that into the jaws on the chuck in a compression hold. I should be just there, man, almost. All right, so now I'm going to switch to my sidewall scraper. I don't know what else to call it. I guess that's the... You say box scraper, homemade box scraper, but it's a sidewall scraper. So I took an old spindle gauge that didn't have any more flute to it and ground it down so I can use it as sidewall scraper, because the tool is already round. All that's cut away, so that it lets all the shavings, everything, just scoot right out of the way. It's not square or flat or anything like that. It's curved, so all the shavings, dust, whatever, can just get right out of the way. And because this is curved, I can do the inside of boxes all the way down as far as this tool steel will reach. It's the inside of the box is only contacting the very side of that shaft, tool shaft.
Small letter O at by combining plus sign below.
Oh, cool.
On the screen. Blue.com. Remove the space. Add LFNEYNX.
Why did it? Wow. The chat bot slowed down a lot, and then there was a spam bot that came into chat. And I also like this tool because I sharpen this end and I sharpen, you can't see that. Oh yeah, you can. I sharpen this side and that side. So I can scrape the wall on this side, but I can use this as a flat square scraper. There we go. Okay, with that piece of leather, I'm going to take the face of this down a little bit. With that piece of leather, though, that will be a really nice fit. So let's do something like this. And that is not touching the shoulder of this. Okay, groovy. Almost done with that hollow form, and I think it's looking pretty nice. Bring out the tailstock, move the death towel, just shift everything around. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a really nice fit. So let's get this guy seated. And this is, again, a friction fit. It is a friction drive because I'm using that piece of leather to impart the spin from this to this. So I don't want it super crammed together. I just want enough that I can't do that. Because if I put too much pressure on this hollow form, I could burst the hollow form too. I just want enough pressure so that this piece of leather can drive this and not scoot by. Damn it. Sorry, my tool rests too high. Love throwing shavings. So nice. It's bizarre, man. I swear. Maybe this shifted. I don't know. This tool rest is still way too high, and usually I have a couple of threads showing down here, but today it is different. Okay, so I'm starting to follow that curve now. Whoops, I took it in too far. Back up from that. And start down here and pick it up here. There we go. I want that to be a nice smooth curve. Get that because that just dulled my tool. Wow. All right, new fresh steel. Fresh steel it is. Wait, I didn't want the spindle gouge. I wanted the bowl gouge. It's coming down this way. I want to go that way. All right. It's close. There we go. So just a little bit of scraping and then a little bit of shear scraping. And this piece should be done other than just taking off that pan there. And a little bit of shear scraping. I'm going to check to see if this is dry enough, at least this part it's dry enough to sand. So then all I'll have to sand is that tenon bit when it gets cut off and it's dry. So that looks, oh, that's just a beautiful surface. So that'll take sanding really nicely. So lovely. So I'm going to work at, now I do want the spindle gouge. Make up my mind. Oh yeah, that's really nice. I'm happy with that. Okay. Time to mask up and throw down some abrasive. Another thing I didn't even come close to mentioning is the takedown, the setup and the takedown of the hollowing system. I don't have to do that. Not that it's, super terrible or it's a huge hassle. I mean, it's none of those things. It's just that I don't have to. So this works. This really does leave me more time at the lathe. Okay, so it's still a little green, a little wet, but not really bad. Getting a little bit caught up in the abrasive, but it's not bad. And that's smooth. So very smooth. Okay, that's it. Just got to separate it now. I'm going to turn on the compressor really quick to buzz off that little button. Oh! Yeah, Dave. Just drop it. Okay, so let's buzz off that little button there. Where are you? There you are. Wood in his tenon is pretty wet, so loading up the abrasive. Here we go. Buzz that off again. And all that's left is to put a name on it. How about right there? 25, Dave. There you go.
25.
Yep, that's what I was just telling myself. Thank you. You're on the spot, man. Thank you very much. I was just telling myself the same thing. 25, Dave. 25. All right, let's clean up that engraved spot a little bit. Do some light sanding. Take down the raised edges. And there we have it. That's the outside is completely finished other than carving these holes out. That's finished sanded. That's as far as it's ever going to go. That was fun to hollow, man. I've never hauled out a root ball. And the wall thick, I mean, just feeling all the way, the wall thickness is even all the way through. There's a little spot right here. It's a tiny bit thinner by the rim, but not much. So I'm happy with that. Very cool. Let's take this off.
Squatch said, that was really cool to watch.
Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed that. I sure did. It's as I say, it's a technique that I really enjoy using. It can really get some mass out of there really fast. That is just the coloration. Oh, hey, let's take. Did I leave that flashlight out here? Yes, I did. All right, let's turn off the lights real quick and let's shine fluorescent light on this dude and see what it looks like. See what shines up. There's a little bit happening there, not much. You look inside, you can see all the little groovy. Looks like stars in there, man. That's cool, but not much of it is really fluorescent. But it's there we go, and that's the reddish part that was left from the center. That's the pith of the root, the tree itself, and so that red. Yeah, you can see it in the bottom too.
Say, why does it fluoresce?
I can't give you an answer to that. I just know that there's not a lot of trees that do. Whatever the chemical makeup is in there, that's in the wood. Black locust, honey locust. Actually, most of the trees that fluoresce this color or something similar to this color. There are some that fluoresce pink. A couple of that fluoresce pink. And a couple that fluoresce more yellowish than green yellow. But in general, from what I've studied, the trees that fluoresce are primarily fluoresce yellow green. So I don't know what that is, what chemical compound that is in. Sorry, let me clean this off. In the timbers.
Paranoid Squatch said, reminds me of a scorpion under old light.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Same exact concept. All right, so let's go just to the main camera there. If I can, there we go. It switches over. Yes. All right, so we are. Well, Look at that. We got a project done, right? Not that it's unusual, but we got a project done before the end of the stream. That's always a bonus. Thanks for joining me. My name, again, especially for those of you who may have come in late, my name is Dave, and I'm a woodturner, disabled vet. I started turning as therapy for PTSD and found out that I had a knack for it, and I fell in love with it, the whole thing. And now I'm working towards creating an income out of my therapy. I love to teach, and that's why I started this channel. I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner. I mean, it's practice for me, and live streaming is more practice for being, in front of actual faces. It's not a whole lot different. I don't get to see y'all, which is kind of a drag, because I like to see faces. When I'm turning, people who I'm talking to or chatting with. Um, but it's still a very similar process that I'm talking through things as I go. So it's a lot of more practice for me. But that is the biggest deal in wood turning, but I guess in a lot of things is practice, practice, practice. So the more you practice at something, the better you will get at it. If your practice is in proper form, you will definitely get better at it. So I highly advise wood turners, especially new ones that I meet, talk to, all that stuff, to get some quality instruction. Don't learn bad habits first. Find a good, competent turner who teaches. There's a couple in this area. Lyle Jameson is one. I'm one. There's a few more around, but primarily, I think in this area, primarily, I think it's just me and Lyle. As far as anyway, it doesn't matter. Get some competent instruction. I'm always willing to take classes and work with other turners to learn their processes and stuff, because I'm always learning a little something and something I can add to my own toolkit. And I think that is important to become a better turner. You want to add to those toolkits, tool handling skills, all that stuff. It's all practice, and you got to learn the proper form before you can actually execute it. Having said that, I hope you enjoyed this evening's broadcast. That was kind of fun turning that root ball. I haven't turned a holoform out of a root ball yet. I got to go pick it up, man. I just got to pick it up. I like the shape. It's a very, very nice shape. Get my round head out of the way, my big head out of the way, but I think it's a very nice shape. Form, shape is everything before you get started. Let's say if I was going to carve this, whatever I was going to do with this, I've got to have a good shape to start with. Or I don't know. I guess in some ways it's like polishing a turd. You can make it shine, but in the end, it's still a turd. I want to get the best possible piece I can out of whatever piece of timber I'm working with. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how small it is. I just want the best possible piece I can get out of the timber. And another reason why I like starting between centers, because I can move the piece around as I'm rounding out the billet, the log, whatever. So I'm rounding it out and checking it. I check it frequently as I'm doing that. Features will show up in the tree. It's like Christmas to me, because you never know what's going to be inside the tree until you actually break into it, which wood turning is a great way to do that, by the way. But starting between centers means I can move that piece wherever I want. Once I have a tenon set for a chuck hold, say this is a tenon, that's it. That's my only axis. I can't move it anymore. It's stuck in that axis. So if I get things started and as much shape as I can get out of it between centers before I move on, because that's where I have the greatest amount of flexibility. I have less flexibility with a chuck hold when I've got a tenon. It's only in one spot. I can't move that. Anyway, I really hope that The things that folks see on this channel inspires them to go out to their lathe and play and practice. And I hope it. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying not to ramble, but I really do hope that it inspires you to do some turning of your own. And I appreciate the support that you show for this channel. Thank you very much. I hope to see you again tomorrow evening, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I broadcast every Tuesday, Wednesday night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Well, most Tuesday and Wednesdays. I didn't a couple weeks ago, but I was in New Hampshire visiting my daughter and granddaughter, and there was no lathe and no way I could turn. But I was spending time with family. So anyway, that was at the time more important to me. But in general, Tuesday and Wednesday nights, I'm going to add. I am actually going to add, and it's going to be in about June timeframe. I'm going to add days to my schedule, my streaming schedule, and all of you who are following this channel should get notifications when that happens. But for now, it's Tuesday, Wednesday nights. Thank you again for joining and chatting and engaging. I really appreciate that. It's fun to be able to talk to people, answer questions, all that kind of stuff. Talk about it ourselves with each other and all that. I really enjoy that aspect of it too. So I hope you all stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow evening, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time, or any Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Good night, folks. Take care.